When I arrived at the office, there was a hectic atmosphere, and everyone was bustling around. What happened? It's plagiarism. You remember the game our company released? We got a call from another company claiming it's plagiarism. They beat us to it. What should we do now? I read this article. It says everything was under Ms. Summers' orders. Who would spread such lies? And so it was decided that Ms. Summers would leave the company. I resigned from the company along with her. Hey you! Who exactly are you? My name is Thomas. I work as a game creator. Even within the realm of game creation, there are various jobs. There are planning roles, programmers, and scenario writers who draft the game's storyline. I mainly did planning work, which kept me quite busy. I ended up working at my current company because of Lily Summers, the president. Ms. Summers gave me a chance when I was failing every interview. I was not good at speaking in front of people, and I struggled with interviews. As a child, I was shy and spent a lot of time playing games at home. Making friends became easier for me because of games. Loving games, I used my allowance to buy many games, asking my parents for them. Soon, friends who were interested in games started coming to my house, and I made more friends that way. Even now, I have many friends I met through gaming. From a young age, I always wanted to work in the gaming industry. But no matter where I applied, I kept getting rejected in interviews. I couldn't respond well, and sometimes I would get stuck thinking about a question. I envied everyone else. How could they speak so smoothly and effortlessly? No matter how much I practiced, I would always get tongue-tied during the actual interview. It was Ms. Summers who gave me a chance back then. What are your strengths? I'm good at writing as a scenario writer. I can't speak well in interviews. It might be hard to believe, but I love writing stories. Other interviewers would scoff. They seemed to doubt that someone who couldn't handle an interview could do such work. I see. So, can you write a short story on the spot? A short story, on the spot? If you're not good at interviews, show me your talent. I'm not forcing you. Ms. Summers didn't look down on me but spoke earnestly. All right. I'll create a story right now. By the way, is anyone else good at writing scenarios? If there's anyone else who's good at it, feel free to join. All the interviewees raised their hands at this rare opportunity. And so, I was the first to present my improvised story. Although I wasn't good at answering interview questions, I was good at imagining and creating scenarios. I told a short horror story. Everyone has a different approach to writing scenarios. Some people outline a rough plot and add details. Others meticulously plan the personalities of the protagonist and other characters before writing. Some start by thinking of the ending. Others detail everything to ensure all plot points are tied up. There are various writing styles, but I prefer to write spontaneously. I enjoy detailed planning too, but I'm good at improvising stories. When I finished my impromptu story, the interviewers' attitudes changed. That story wasn't copied from a novel, right? You made it up on the spot, correct? Yes. You can check if you want, but I really made it up right here. It's not plagiarism. Thank you. Now, can the others also tell us an impromptu story? Thanks to that interview, I was able to join the company. If it were just based on the interview results, I would have been rejected for sure. I couldn't forget that day and felt indebted to Ms. Summers. Maybe she didn't think much of it, but it was a life-changing event for me. That did happen. But I'm really glad you joined this company. To be honest, I felt a bit sorry for you at that time. Felt sorry for me? After working with Ms. Summers for a long time, I realized 6 years had passed. We would sometimes go out for drinks together on our days off. I would invite other employees, but most of them didn't want to talk about work on their days off and declined. I loved my job so much that I thought about it even on my days off. The interview was pretty bad, wasn't it? You looked so down, I felt I had to give you a chance. Maybe that sounds a bit condescending? Not at all. It really helped me. Without that, I wouldn't be here at this company. I might not have been able to work as a game creator. I'm glad to hear that. You always look so happy when talking about games. Anyone can see this job suits you. As a child, I was happy to make friends through games, and not just that, games are fun. They offer stories that are impossible in reality. And you can enhance yourself through various achievements. The gaming world is enjoyable because it offers so much. Yes. That feeling. I almost forgot it. Thank you. We should never forget the desire to make people smile through games. Ms. Summers smiled warmly. Even though there's a 6-year age difference, will I be as composed as her in 6 years? I always loved writing, but I never thought I'd become a game producer. A game producer oversees the planning, development, and marketing of a game, managing budgets, personnel, schedules, and promotions. It's a busy but rewarding job. You have great management skills and attention to detail. I thought you were perfect for the role. Thank you. Honestly, I felt I had reached my limit as a scenario writer. When I heard you were struggling as a scenario writer, I wondered what to do. You were quick to learn many things. But to rise up to a game producer, that's impressive. I guess I have a good eye for talent, huh? I'm glad I spotted you at that interview. I should be the one thanking you. I will never forget that day. You're being a bit dramatic, aren't you? Fueled by some drinks, I expressed my gratitude honestly. Since joining the company, I've faced many challenges, but now I strive to support Ms. Summers as her right-hand man. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks of myself as her right-hand man, but I wanted to help the company, and Ms. Summers, as much as possible. However, the problem arose a few days later. When I arrived at the office, there was a hectic atmosphere, and everyone was bustling around. What happened? There's a meeting with Ms. Summers and everyone later. You should come too. The one who called me was Joseph. Like me, he works as a game producer. Joseph and I are colleagues who have worked together since joining the company. Honestly, I don't like him. I stopped working as a scenario writer partly because of him. Joseph kept plagiarizing my scenarios. He was better at socializing and quickly won over the senior employees. Soon, everyone sided with Joseph. No matter what I said, I was accused of being the copycat, and I started hating writing scenarios. At that time, Miss Summers suggested I try a different job, and I was able to get away from Joseph. But Joseph followed me and ended up working as a game producer too. Anyway, something serious is going on. You should go to the president's office. What happened? You took a long vacation, right? So, it's understandable you don't know. Something really interesting is happening. Interesting? I had a bad feeling and couldn't stop shivering. When Joseph said something interesting was going on, I knew it couldn't be good. When I got to the president's office, some employees were already gathered. Ms. Summers, how do you plan to take responsibility? The only way to resolve this is for you to resign from the company. Ms. Summers is resigning? What are you talking about? If that happens, this company is finished. Shut up, kid. That's the only way for this company to survive. What exactly happened? It's plagiarism. Remember the game our company released? Another company contacted us, claiming it's plagiarism. Plagiarism? How could that happen? Everyone calm down. Let's discuss this. The article hasn't been published yet, but it will likely become public soon. What exactly is going on? How could this misunderstanding happen? It doesn't seem to be a misunderstanding. Apparently, the game we released, another company was developing an identical one. But maybe they copied us to destroy our company. Shut up if you don't know anything. Unfortunately, they're the original and we're the copy. How can you be so sure? They started development much earlier, and they were in the final stages. The game we released is full of bugs, which is being blamed on the fact it was plagiarized. That's not enough reason. Joseph was practically accusing Ms. Summers. If this is true, it won't just be Ms. Summers, all of us will be in trouble. Joseph, however, seemed to be enjoying recounting the incident. I'll explain everything later, but there are other pieces of evidence backing this up. It's clear our company committed plagiarism. Who would do such a thing? Who knows? But this isn't something that can be fixed with an apology. Ms. Summers bit her lip, looking incredibly frustrated. It was hard to believe someone within the trusted employees would do such a thing. The next day, the scandal spread in an even worse way. I rushed to the president's office. Ms. Summers. What happened? We were beaten to the punch. I don't know what to do. I read the article. It says everything was under your orders. Who would spread such lies? It's not just one employee, it seems several people are saying the same thing. Whoever it is, they want to put all the blame on me. The article I saw had a huge headline, all the plagiarism was under Ms. Summers' orders. This couldn't be true. Ms. Summers, who loves games, would never resort to plagiarism. Then Joseph and several employees entered the president's office. Ms. Summers, I'm really sorry, but could you resign? Of course, you need to take full responsibility. What are you saying? Are you believing this ridiculous article? It's not a ridiculous article. I was also instructed by Ms. Summers. What? The game under plagiarism suspicion was mainly handled by Joseph. So I had thought maybe Joseph was involved. But the words coming from Joseph were unbelievable. I was forced to plagiarize by you, Ms. Summers. My subordinates are also testifying. You brought this game from somewhere and pressured us to release it quickly. I never gave such instructions. We can no longer follow you. If you don't resign, we'll all leave the company. What are you saying? Staying in this company won't yield any sales. How do you expect to clear the image of a company that committed plagiarism? This is the age of social media. It's all about public perception, not the truth. You have to leave, or we all will. Okay. I understand how you all feel. Does everyone here share the same opinion? All the employees, except me, looked down and said nothing. Some might be following Joseph's orders, but some are probably doubting Ms. Summers. I raised my hand energetically. I can't believe Ms. Summers would do such a thing. We should fight this to the end. Let's find the real culprit. We don't have time for that. To restore our image, we need to apologize quickly and get people to look forward to our next game. Ms. Summers. You'll resign, right? We have families to support. We can't risk ending up on the streets because of you. Fine. I will resign. Ms. Summers. But I won't admit that this plagiarism was under my orders. I'll fight to the end. Do as you please. And so, it was decided that Ms. Summers would leave the company. She never admitted to the allegations, but there were various exposes from people claiming to be her subordinates, painting her as the sole villain. The remaining employees acted like victims, directed by Ms. Summers, and resumed work as if nothing had happened. The company that accused us of plagiarism became surprisingly quiet afterward, and there were no demands for damages. Ms. Summers, this is absurd. Someone must have set us up. The company that made such a fuss about plagiarism suddenly went quiet? They must have been in on it. I think so too. But we can't escalate this further. If the company's reputation falls, the employees' livelihoods will be at risk. But you shouldn't resign. The next president has already been decided. By making me the scapegoat, the company's image seems to have recovered. You should return to the company too. I'm your right-hand man. I'll follow you, Ms. Summers. Following someone with no credibility won't benefit you. I can't believe you gave such an order. I will find the culprit and prove your innocence. If you're that determined, do as you wish. But it's going to be tough. Ms. Summers, I, and a few employees who believed in her started a new company. The days that followed were busy and often didn't go as planned. We had to find new ways, new people. Many opinions flew around, and we couldn't make games the same way as before. But it was a good stimulus for us. A new wind was blowing, and we created games in a different way. Unlike the previous company, this new company was very small, but we worked hard every day. Don't overwork yourself. Working too much will make you sick. Even if I rest at home, I just think about work. Now, I can work freely and enjoy it. Before, I had to endure many things like the company's policies, my position, and my boss's methods. But now, I can do things my way. Everyone else feels the same. They're working with great enthusiasm. I'm glad to hear that. You certainly seem happier than when you were at the old company. I'm also investigating the previous plagiarism incident. I'll let you know if there's any progress. Thank you. Thus, we released a few small games. Initially, we didn't reveal Ms. Summers' name and started as a new game company. The games we released quickly became popular, and there were calls for sequels. Hey, who are you? What do you mean? I'm just doing my job like always. Still, it's strange. How did the company grow so quickly? You didn't release this many popular games at the old company, did you? Not to sound negative. It's not just me. And Ms. Summers, have you forgotten? I always loved writing scenarios. That's true, but still. It's like you were hiding your abilities. I wasn't hiding them. When I wrote scenarios before, Joseph often interfered. I started hating something I used to enjoy. I tried to create something new, something only I could write. After that, I enjoyed programming and game producing. But I remembered that I love writing stories. Here, I can write whatever I want. And with new colleagues, working together is really fun. I always recognized your talent, but I didn't realize it was to this extent. Keep up the good work. Of course, thank you. Your stories always have warmth. That's why everyone enjoys the games. You've seen so many games as a creator. Your works will surely leave a lasting impression. It's embarrassing to be praised so much. It's not just me, it's the effort of all the employees and you. It's going to get busier from now on. Yes. Our company grew rapidly. More people wanted to work with us, and the company kept expanding. But the bigger we got, the harder it was to hide. As Ms. Summers' name spread, the old scandal came to mind for some people. No matter how hard we worked on new projects, there was always the risk someone would suspect us of plagiarism again. This kept me up at night. Creating interesting games. Creating games that bring joy to many people. Even if I could do that, I couldn't clear Ms. Summers' name. One day, we had a visitor at our company. It was Joseph. Long time no see. Looks like your company's been growing fast, but this is as far as you go. What do you want? You plagiarized our game, didn't you? I came to discuss that. What are you talking about? We create original games. We haven't plagiarized anything. No one will believe someone with a record. The former employees Joseph brought with him chuckled as they looked at us. The game we were about to release is exactly the same as yours. If I tell the press, who do you think will be in trouble? Of course. I'll include Ms. Summers' name and the previous scandal. The press will eat it up. Beautiful president steals again. Stop it. You set up the last scandal too, didn't you? The other company's behavior was suspicious. It was obvious you were connected. Don't speculate without proof. Don't make baseless accusations. I had no proof. But I had been investigating on my own, questioning other employees. I didn't find any concrete evidence, but I did get information suggesting Joseph might be pulling strings. Still, I had no proof. Joseph approached confidently, a smug smile on his face. Who do you think will be more troubled if this goes public? Whose side do you think people will believe? Think carefully before you speak. That's enough. This has nothing to do with you anymore. Why are you targeting us? I'm not targeting you. I'm here to protest because our valuable game was stolen. Do you want to settle this with a settlement fee? Or have the press write whatever they want? What do you say, Ms. Summers? I won't pay you. Go to the press if you want. Are you sure? You'll regret it. If you cause problems with your newly established company, you won't be able to start over again. If our company gets targeted again, there will be no next time. No matter how hard we try, no one will work with us once they see our names. We worked so hard to get this far. It's frustrating, but I couldn't say anything. I clenched my fists tightly. That's fine. Go ahead and say whatever you want. We have our evidence ready. Evidence? Ms. Summers, what do you mean? She looked at me with a gentle expression, as if to say everything would be all right. I decided to trust her and quietly watched. You've done as you pleased since the last incident. It took us this long to gather the evidence. What evidence? No matter what you do, you can't prove your innocence. How does it feel to be betrayed by your right-hand person? What? Your right-hand woman, Julie, has confessed everything. You two were dating but had a falling out, didn't you? Julie told us everything in her anger. Wait. What? Someone in our company was connected to you and was planning to bring up another plagiarism accusation. Did she really spill everything? I thought she was a blabbermouth, but I didn't expect her to talk to you. But do you think people will believe one woman's testimony over all our employees' testimonies? You have a record, you know. I've been investigating this since it happened. I was ready to give up, but seeing my employees' anger made me decide not to. I know you orchestrated everything to bring me down. Stop making baseless claims. Without evidence, your words mean nothing. Of course. But we do have evidence. We have testimonies from your employees and the employees of the company that claimed plagiarism before. Ms. Summers showed a voice recorder and started playing it. There were voices of people crying and admitting they lied to frame Ms. Summers. What is this? They all spoke honestly. They were told by you to coordinate their stories. They couldn't stay silent anymore. You must have fabricated this. You went to such lengths. I also spoke with the president of the other company, Ms. Kimball, the one who accused us of plagiarism last time. I played her the recording. And she agreed to reinvestigate internally. Why go through the trouble of reinvestigating something that's already over? That's absurd. Ms. Kimball and I go way back. After the last incident, she lost faith in me and cut off contact. But after hearing the recording, she agreed to help investigate. Despite the potential harm to her own company, she couldn't tolerate having such employees. Aren't you ashamed? Digging up the past just to clear your name. Maybe you seduced him with your looks. That's how you convinced him, right? That's impossible. Impossible? Men can be swayed, married or not, lover or not. That's just how they are. The other president, she's a woman. She is? I plan to speak openly about the last incident. The name that came up as the mastermind was Joseph. You. With all this evidence, who do you think the public will believe? Wait. Fine. I'll back off and stay out of your way. Just don't dig up the last incident. So, you're admitting you framed Ms. Summers? I admit it. Just please, don't tell anyone. Think of our employees. If this goes public, it won't just be me who suffers, it'll affect everyone. Please, don't make it public. Ms. Summers quietly walked up to Joseph. I was worried that the kind Ms. Summers might forgive him. That she might say she would endure for the sake of others. The old me might have agreed. But now, I have many employees to protect. And I have people who care about me. How could I not care for myself? They would scold me for that. Ms. Summers smiled gently, but her eyes showed no laughter. There was a firm resolve in her. You don't care about your former employees? About what happens to us? Ms. Summers thought for a moment. Ms. Summers, those who weren't involved with you will be welcomed at our company, so don't worry. Now, please leave. We have work to do. By the way, I recorded your confession just now. Wait. What does that mean? What will happen to me? Please leave now. Coming here without an appointment is quite rude. If you insist on staying, I'll call the police. No way. Why do I have to lose to a woman? I never liked you, because you're a woman. Why? How small-minded. Gender doesn't matter. Joseph's subordinates looked very uneasy. They likely knew the truth about the last incident. We chased Joseph and his group out of the office and returned to our work. That evening, I went to a park with Ms. Summers after having dinner together. The surroundings were dim, and a pleasant breeze cooled my flushed face. I was worried you might forgive him, Ms. Summers. I did feel a bit sorry and thought about the other employees, but I felt like you'd get mad at me if I did. Me? Whenever I investigated the truth, your face kept appearing in my mind. The moment I thought I'd just endure it alone, your angry face would flash in my mind. Why would you say that? You'd yell. I hate being scolded. I see. Knowing that Ms. Summers thought about me made my cheeks redden. She is a beautiful and strong woman. Not just physically, but her heart is beautiful too. Wanting to stay by her side and work hard together. I must be in love with her. Ms. Summers' hand lightly touched mine. I held her hand tightly. I'm glad everything worked out. Yes. Thank you for believing in me and sticking with me. If it weren't for you, I would have given up on the company. You're exaggerating. I'm your right-hand man, after all. I want to keep working hard with you. Thank you. Ms. Summers' hand tightened a little in mine. Adult relationships are nice, but I also think the kind of love we had in high school was special. Ms. Summers looked at me with sparkling eyes. I didn't know if what I was thinking was right, but I opened my mouth. I've liked you for a long time. Please go out with me. Ms. Summers smiled happily when she heard that. I guess writers really do have great imagination and thoughtfulness. You understood what I was thinking perfectly. Taking that as her wanting me to confess, I honestly expressed my feelings. It seemed I was right, as Ms. Summers, well, Lily, smiled like an innocent girl. I'm looking forward to working with you in every way from now on. The pleasure is mine. From then on, we faced various challenges together as both work partners and lovers. Joseph's company fell apart after the previous incident came to light, and the employees scattered, leading to its de facto collapse. Some of those employees started working with us, and Lily's smile became more frequent. To keep that smile on her face, I wanted to make her laugh both at work and in our private life.